And now I'll bring up our second contestant in the challenge today. That is Jelece Morris from CòBARE. A round of applause, please, for Jelece.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jelece Morris, and I'm the founder and CEO of CòBARE. Over the past few years, we've seen an increasing conversation around menstrual cycles. In 2015, we saw NPR name the year of the period. And in recent years, we've seen an uptick in greener products like menstrual cups, period panties, and organic tampons. Earlier this year, many of you may have also seen that a short documentary on periods won an Oscar. Needless to say, we love the conversation around periods and how it's in support of the millions of women who are menstruating all around the world. But we know when it comes to women's health, it goes far beyond periods. Take, for instance, the 18 million women in America who suffer from light bladder leaks or spotting. Among these women are pregnant women and recent moms who have weaker pelvic floors and experience incontinence, or the 14 million birth control users at an all-time high due to great awareness in family planning. They also experience either lighter periods or irregular spotting. Basically, these women need help for life's unexpected and sometimes uncontrollable events. Current options on the market include panty liners, which are inconvenient, uncomfortable, wasteful. Period underwear, well, they're made for periods, and when we surveyed our target customer, they wouldn't pick up period products for their needs. And disposable incontinence underwear, well, that generally feels like a diaper, and we know in this picture only one of these people should be wearing a diaper. Despite these options, sometimes our solution, and I can attest to this myself, results to something like this: tissue paper. So CòBARE is on a mission to help create and provide functional, convenient, and sustainable underwear to help women support with their light to everyday needs in an effort to allow them to have less hassle. We're starting with our reusable underwear that caters to these needs for women ages 18 to 44, really bringing the conversation into the millennial age, because we know that there's a gap there in the market. We've surveyed hundreds of women over the past year and have created a style and a function that will cater to these needs, that is moisture wicking, absorbent, and leak resistant. Let's take a look at how this works. So here you can see in this beaker, there's about 20 milliliters of water that I'm using to now saturate onto the gusset of the underwear. That's the inside of the underwear. It's now seeping through that first layer and being absorbed in, and it's now penetrating and drying and staying within the underwear and not leaking through. Now, many of you may be wondering, how is this different from some of the other things that you've seen out on the market? Well, when you think of CòBARE, we want you to think about a company that is focusing on reusable, sustainable products that is helping women to live better and really taking the conversation of feminine hygiene beyond just menstrual cycles. We know that there's a great need for us to create more sustainable options in the market, and it's in line with a lot of the trends that we've seen with women buying more cleaner products, but also eco-friendly products to help take away some of the waste. Traditional feminine care products, they can take up to 800 years to decompose. And with tons of billions of pads and tampons filling up our landfills, we've got to put a dent in what's happening. So we're looking to try to reduce the number of times you have to clear your bathroom trash can or unclog your toilet. We know that we're sitting on a gem here. The absorbent underwear market is expected to grow to $280 million within the next few years. This growing market shows growing interest and gives us an opportunity for a greater impact. We've surveyed a lot of women over the past year, and we've learned that not only in the time saving, but also in the functionality value proposition, they're willing to buy this underwear at $30 a pair. At this rate, we're able to produce it at a 70% margin by producing overseas, and this would result in $15 million being achieved in the first 5 years. The cost savings is significantly decreased due to reduced labor and material cost. Currently, as a recent Wharton MBA grad, and alongside my two digital specialists and our advisors, we received 2 grants from the University of Pennsylvania, and we'll be taking our company through the Pennovation Accelerator this summer to prepare for a launch this fall. What we need now is support, partnerships, connections, and resources like money to help us help them. So with your support, we can help make this dream a reality and not only work towards a better planet, but also better products for women. Thank you.
Amazing. Incredible. Fantastic. And now let's turn it over to our judges for a 5-minute question and answer.
Perfect.
Hi.
Hi.
Have you started producing the product already?
Great question. So we're currently in our last cycle of product development. We're currently producing in the United States, and so we're expecting that within the next month we'll finalize that last stage.
Okay. So no sales at this point.
Correct. We're currently not revenue generating, but have received quite an overwhelming response in regards to our social media and also on our mailing list platform of having engagement, especially within the local community of where I reside now, which is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Jelece, can you mention how big the grants you got from the 2 grants you got from the university? How big are they?
So the 2 grants that we got, one was an innovation fund, which is designed to help bring products into market, and that fund resulted in a $1,000 grant. The second fund was a total of $5,000 in total.
Have you beta tested your product?
We are currently testing as we produce different iterations of the product, and so not only are we testing primarily for style, which is a big piece of what we're trying to use as a differentiator, but we're also testing using different types of liquids to see what can actually absorb and hold into the underwear.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your marketing strategy?
Yeah. So our company will be going to market direct to consumer online. And so for marketing, we know that we're really trying to strive to have a very strong brand. So we'll be spending most of our summer focusing our efforts on that and working with not only influencers in this space, but also using some paid advertising and really leveraging the channels of where some of the conversations are happening by focusing on our most aggressive consumers, which are women who are using birth control and also women who are either pregnant or have recently given birth. We've had some really great partnerships with some local gynecologists that are going to help us get the word out, who have already given us the space to do some advertising within their office.
What about active seniors? You didn't talk at all about seniors as a prospective population, and that's a growing population.
Yes, thank you so much for that question. That is correct. There is a growing population, and we know that traditionally this conversation around light bladder leaks and incontinence is one that gets talked about post-menopause. But there is a segment that's not being addressed, and that is a big part of our mission, is to really bring light to the millennials who are also facing some of these conversations. And quite frankly, the styles tend to differ a little bit between the age groups, and so we're trying to make sure that we offer a product that caters to a certain demographic.
Another minute or so. Any more questions from our judges?
No more questions?
You got
Perfect.
one more on the end? Are we all good? All right, can we get a round of applause
Thank
for
you all
Jelece?
so much.
Fantastic work. Wonderful job.
Thank you.